Hey guys and gals, Mama Bear here with a daily dash of life. If you're new to my channel, I'd like to send you a very big welcome, and if you're one of my 12-gallon cup drinkers, welcome back. If you haven't already, please subscribe and don't forget to hit the bell button to get notifications of my latest videos. Today I will be showing you how I make my kid-friendly and my adult-friendly deviled eggs. I will have the ingredients for those in the description box below, so don't forget to check that out. Now if you're going to use the tried and true garnish of paprika, go right ahead. But if you want to be a little bit more daring, you can use bacon bits. Homemade, fresh bacon bits. Now if you're going to be garnishing your deviled eggs with the bacon bits, preheat your oven to 375 degrees Fahrenheit and cook them in the oven for 20 minutes. Or longer if you prefer them a little more crispy. Just keep in mind that the less bacon you use on the tray, the less grease and the crispier they will be. Now when you pull them out of the oven, put them onto something that will catch the grease and will allow them to cool. I generally use a cutting board with paper towels on top. I place my bacon on that, and of course it absorbs the grease and they cool down. Boil your medium-sized eggs to perfection using my video on boiling eggs. I will leave the link to that in the description box below, and I will also leave a thumbnail at the end of this video for you. One day, Gochujang Mama and I were talking about our love for deviled eggs. I was making deviled eggs, she was about to make some deviled eggs, and so that got the conversation started. And she mentioned she likes to use a medium-sized egg because it is a perfect bite size. You can eat the whole egg in one bite. Why didn't I think of that? I mean, that's what I made my Santa's favorite cookies bite-sized for in the first place. So, But anyway, I mean, that's why I have this channel, so we can get ideas from each other and learn from one another's mistakes and from our victories. Now, one thing I like to do is when I'm making a lot of eggs for a party, I do like to make my eggs a dozen at a time. That gives me time to boil my egg and boil my eggs, and while those are boiling, if I already have a batch in front of that, then I can be peeling those eggs. And then as soon as those are done, then I'm ready to peel my next batch and start boiling another batch. To me, that works out a lot better because I noticed that when I try to do them all at once, they cook differently and they peel differently. I can't get to them just in time, so the peeling is all wrong. Then I get frustrated because I want pretty eggs and they don't come out pretty because they get those cracks and those nasty holes in them. Anyway, I'm rambling, but that's why I don't like to do that. That's why I do batches. Now, after you have boiled your eggs to perfection and have cooled them down, immediately start peeling as soon as possible by cracking the dull or flat side of your egg. And then you want to, at the very bottom part of the cracked side, of the cracked part, do a pinch and pull up method. That seems to get like the whole top part off for me, and then I can just go and start peeling around the egg. It happens so quickly and so easy. It's just kind of like, like with the cookies, once you get into that little routine, everything starts to speed up. And believe me, when you're doing a party, that helps. So what you want to do after you've gotten your eggs peeled is to cut them in half long ways. Dump the yolk into a bowl and then just put the egg whites aside. And Little Bear will be trying to sneak as many egg whites as she can. That is her favorite part. So I gotta keep an eye on that one. You're going to create a filling by first smashing your yolks. And I typically push down into the bowl with the fork and then smear. Do push and smear, push and smear. And you're gonna continue to do that until your yolk balls turn into a fine crumble. Once you have gotten your fine crumble, then that's when it's going to be time to season. Mix in your season, use your fork and just mix it all around, get everything seasoned really well, and then begin to coat your yolk with your mustard. Once your mustard has coated all of the yolk, that's when you add in your mayonnaise, and this is when it becomes creamy. So continue to add, smash and smear, smash and smear. And if your mayonnaise has been completely mixed into your yolk and you're not at your desired consistency, then continue to add your mayo 1 tablespoon at a time. Now, something to keep in mind is If you're at your desired consistency, you might want to add in a little bit more mayonnaise, just because the consistency of the filling will become thicker as it sits in the refrigerator. Another thing to keep in mind is when you're heavier on the mustard side, then your filling is going to be a little on the more spicy side. But when you're heavy on the mayonnaise side, then it tends to be a little more creamy and not so spicy. Now, once you're done with all of that, you have two options. You can assemble and start stuffing your face, or if you're traveling with this, then you need to stop. I'm going to suggest that you stop and not assemble and just wait till you're at your destination. I've traveled with deviled eggs so many times and I've learned so many lessons throughout the years, and the biggest one is do not travel with assembled deviled eggs. One reason why I don't like to travel with assembled deviled eggs is because everyone knows you have to make a lot of deviled eggs for a party. They just go so fast, so you have to make a lot in order for everyone to get some, which means you will need lots of travel containers. They don't hold many. Well, to me this just is not enough to make for a party. So I would need like stacks of these, which I have. I have bought them, and then I run into my second problem. Who has the space for these in the car? I mean, seriously. You can't stack them on top of each other. They slide off. You have a little movement and, you know, whoops, and they start sliding all over the place. You have to lay them flat on the floor. But you can't always do that. I mean, they take up a lot of space. So, no, I don't want to do that. And then my third reason is, even if you do lay them flat on the floor and you have them in the container, they slide around and jiggle inside the container as you're traveling, and then they get yolk on each other and they don't look pretty anymore. So, I mean, that might not be a big deal, but I don't like that. So I would just prefer to assemble at the party. And in order to do that, all I have to do is get my egg whites. I've already separated them and put them in a container. I just have to put the lid on the container and put that in the refrigerator. Then my filling, I put that in a container, put that in the refrigerator until I'm ready to go. And in an insulated bag, I pack my spatula, my piping bag, and my little piping tip, or whatever it's called, frosting tip, and then the plate, the dish that I'll be using to display them. Pack all of that. When I'm ready to go, I just grab my eggs and my filling from the refrigerator, and bing, bang, boom. I mean, simple, easy peasy. It doesn't take much room, and the traveling is so much better with it. Then when I get to my destination, I just get there, put the platter out, and then start filling my my deviled eggs. And if you brought your garnish, if you chose to do bacon, you could do bacon. If you chose to put your paprika, put your paprika. Of course, the garnish isn't necessary. It's always optional. But, I mean, it just makes things so much easier. My favorite part is the filling, and Little Bear's favorite parts are the whites, and that's what makes her perfect for my family. Now, keep in mind, the creamier you make your deviled egg filling, the more filling you're going to have left over at the end. Which is another perfect thing, because I like to cut some sweet rolls in half and then add the filling to the center and close it back up like a filling sandwich. And those are so tasty. Of course, people think, oh, that's a little quirkiness. That's kind of like, I don't know. But once they try it, it's so good. So good. And I've even used it like a spread and made sandwiches with it. Yummy. Delish. Give it a try. Thank you for coming out to visit my channel. Don't forget to give this recipe a try, and I hope you learned something new today that you didn't know yesterday. Enjoy! Toodles! This has been Mama Bear with a Daily Dash of Life. And as always, don't forget to spice up yours. May God bless you. Thanks for watching. To subscribe, click my watermark and click any video icon for more videos or to start a playlist. Check out bonus footage at Instagram and Twitter at A Daily Dash of Life. Toodles!